So the process for allowing a test retake in ALEKS is something that we'll have to experiment with a little bit. But a big change from creating a test is you do not want to go to the master template for this. You actually want to go to yourself in your class. And so the first job is to figure out what class the student who wants to do the retake is, which class the student is from. So let's say a student shows up from my 5th period or Chavez Negrete's 5th period and wants to retake a test. We'll go to assignments. And we're going to pretend that this test was already completed. This is a fake test and no students have done it. So, but it would look like this, ideally, if students had completed this. My test should be disabled because I don't want students to be able to get into it unless they're in the proctored environment. And so I would adjust the date and say, okay, the student wants to come in and do a retake. So we're going to go from whatever date this is today. We're just going to allow the retake. So let's say they come in on the 9th. I want this to only happen for today for this student. I'm going to go ahead and enable the test, recognizing that this is going to enable the test for all of my students in my 5th period class. That is a little bit freaky because what if there are students in my 5th period class that happen to get on right now and change their score on their assignment? That's probably not going to happen, but I can get ahead of that by saying, okay, I'm going to re-enable the test, but this time I'm going to require a password. And my password is going to be the word 9. I can show the password. And now when I save this, before I save it, I want to say that I'm going to allow 2 attempts, because this will give the student who knows the password a second opportunity to come in and do this test. I want to make sure it says quick retake, so they only redo questions that they missed the first time. We'll leave everything else the same, and we'll hit save. So now this fractions test is going to be available to the student who is there for a retake. It will require a password for that student to have access to that test, and I can just tell them what the password is right now in the moment, and then they'll be able to get in and get started on that test with a second attempt at that same test.